Okay. Call the meeting to order for the City of Saratoga Springs, Tuesday, September 15th at 6:03 p.m. Present tonight, we have Councilman Wilden, Councilman Porter, Councilman Podeska, Councilman McComber, and Councilman Carnes. We have a quorum. Our little disclaimer for the last time. I, Jim Miller, the mayor of City of Saratoga Springs, hereby determines that conducting the city council meeting at an anchor location presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the anchor location. The World Health Organization and the President of the United States, the Governor of Utah, and the County Health Department have all recognized a global pandemic exists relating to the new strain of coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19. Due to the state of emergency caused by the global pandemic, I find that conducting a meeting at an anchor location under the current state of public health emergency constitutes a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the location. This written declaration expires 30 days from the date signed, expiration September 30th. So we will be meeting in person starting next month. I've asked Councilman McComber to give us our prayer and Councilman Podeska to lead us in the pledge.
Our dear and gracious Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee at this time, we're grateful for the many blessings Thou hast given us. We're thankful for the improved health that has blessed our state and our country as a whole. And we ask that Thou would continue to bless this nation and the nations around the world, that they will be able to handle this pandemic and deal with it through therapeutics and hopefully vaccines soon. Heavenly Father, we are thankful for the opportunity for our kids in this area to be able to go back to school and experience some sort of normalcy in their lives. And we ask that I'll continue to bless them and all of those who work with them in the schools. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the opportunity to govern ourselves. And we ask that Thou bless us this day, that we'll be able to take into consideration those things that are brought before us, that will make decisions that benefit the residents today and into the future. We love Thee so very much, and we say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay. Reports.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh, yeah,
Ryan,
we're
sorry.
doing a pledge. That's fine.
We're moving this quick. The B team didn't have the flag up.
They tried. Here, I have a flag. I have a flag. Okay, ready?
There we go.
We're going to go with that. Okay. All right. Please repeat the pledge after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay. Any reports from the council?
I have a question, Mayor, if I may.
Yeah.
Is there a way, Mark, Owen, staff in general, that we could, I'd be happy to participate if the mayor would allow, if it's okay with that, and if anyone else wanted to, just to go around to some of the neighborhoods and have the agreements, the plans, the contracts, the trails, the open space, what was agreed upon, and walk through the neighborhoods to make sure that those things have actually happened. I feel like we're really good when it comes to the roads, the sewer, the buildings, building inspections, but like the trail system, I guess because I've been running more and I'm out and about and I've been going throughout the whole city, I've just noticed things like, I swear this should be a connection. There should be a trail that connects this neighborhood to the other one. I remember even Councilwoman Barch making a big deal about some of those connections, and it doesn't seem like it's happening. So just a thought there, we could go through and make sure that the various developments are following through and not just putting grass and avoiding putting a trail. And so they have the space and they just throw grass down and there's no sidewalk or no asphalt or anything. So just wondering what we can do maybe along those lines. And I'm happy to participate in that.
Mark?
Mayor, if that's something that you'd like, that's fine. I will say this, the planning department, before, as part of the process, we do go through and we do follow up. The planning department usually follows through with inspections of that nature. to make
On the
sure
trails?
the required landscaping gets built. To count that I think is very valid is that
Mark, you're cutting in and out a
sometimes
lot.
people, once it gets taken over the HOA, let me do this. I'm gonna stop my video to see if that helps give me some bandwidth.
Yep.
Basically, though, we do the initial analysis, and I don't know if I was cutting out for that. We do check that at the time that subdivisions get approved. But then what we do is HOAs, subsequent HOAs, things of that nature might take out some of those things. And so that's something, if you'd like us to do, we could certainly do that. From an audit standpoint, typically we haven't gone back to audit years later to see if something has been removed or something like that.
Some of these things are new developments and they're actually putting in the trail and then they cut it 15 feet from connecting to the other trail. And I'm like, which developer, the north one or the south one, two different developers, isn't connecting the two trails? Like literally 15 feet apart, it's weeds and dirt from one trail to the other. They're not connected. So somebody's thinking it's the other person. That's the kind of thing I'm referring to. So it's new stuff as well, Mark, not just old.
If it's along Redwood Road,
it's not. It's back in the neighborhood there, and it's just I've just noticed 3 or 4 different locations. So
let's do this, Michael. If I could, let me set up a time where you and I can just kind of talk about some of those things. If it's outstanding and if it's still something that developers required to do, we're happy to enforce. And for those gaps that may have gotten missed or that exist subsequent, we'd be happy to try and come up with a plan to address those things going forward as well.
Okay.
I'll have Tina set something up with you.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else from the council?
Yeah, I just wanted to publicly thank our Public Works. We got a report that they went up and helped Bountiful City with all the wind damage that they received. I love hearing about how our fire department, goes out and helps other crews during fires, and now hearing about Public Works doing the same in their categories. So just wanted to thank them for all their efforts, and for let's see, it was George and Jeremy for arranging that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We appreciate that. Obviously, we've been the beneficiaries of mutual aid in the past during emergencies. And so when we get those calls for help, we try and assist where we can. Thank you.
Perfect. And then Saturday was the 20-year celebration for the fire department. Mayor Parker, our original chief, the Penovich family came, and a lot of the original firemen. Some of our firemen have been with us for 20 years since it started. They had a little challenge coin, did barbecue. It was a great event. Really kind of interesting to see where the fire departments come from, kind of a small little fire truck and a few volunteers to where we're at and where we're going in the future. We've got wildland fire integration. We've got a ladder truck coming. We've got full-time guys to where we're starting to become staffed with our own individuals versus depending on part-time people. So it was neat to talk with firemen, kind of see what they're doing and how things are going, and where the fire departments come from, and what we're going to go and do in the future.
Hey, Mayor, was there any pictures taken? I missed it because it was a last-minute invite for me, but I would love to have seen that original fire truck that was there.
There were people taking pictures. They recorded Kenny. He gave a little speech, and so did mine just drew a blank. Dan, about the fire department. So I know that they recorded it. I don't know if
so maybe David can reach out. Maybe we can have David reach out to various people and see if we can't get something on social media, because that would be fun to see that original fire truck.
Yeah, I don't know if that one ever fully showed up. I was I was there for about 2.5 hours and it hadn't come yet, but it was.
Okay.
Lehigh City did come to support us, and a lot of their volunteers that backfill or help, but a lot of their guys are out. They train their wildland fire crews with our guys to get certified, and their crews, because they have the staffing, are up in Oregon and Washington fighting fires with the Utah group.
Which is again great that we're serving it.
It's great. It'll be great when we have the staffing in place to get our guys back out doing that for the training. We have a lot of urban interface that goes all along Lake Mountain, and if they get up there and they get the training, This year when the fire took off, it was obvious our guys were well trained. They knew what to do, and they stopped a lot of problems and got things happening faster. So congrats to them and all the hard work and training they put in.
So even if we don't have pictures of the truck, even if David could get some of the footage, because it'd be great to put on our social media, again, supporting our first responders like Ryan was talking about. So
David's internet's cutting out, but yeah, I'll work out with him and get that in.
Okay. Mark, anything from administration?
No, Mayor and Council, we do have just a quick update for you. Our phase 2 improvements for the burn scar, we're going to be opening those bids here this week. You authorized me to move forward with those contracts, so I'm going to do that so that way we don't have to wait or hold a special meeting. I'm going to authorize those contracts and then bring them back to you to ratify at the next council meeting. But for the most part, we're just charging forward with phase 2, and then hopefully the phase 3 stuff will be coming along here in the next few months, probably, because those are the more long-term projects.
Okay, perfect.
Still fencing is going up and things are progressing. We've got the contracts for reseeding that are also coming in right now, and so hopefully we'll be making the progress here between now and October 6th.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to business items. We have one business item tonight, the North Shore Neighborhood Plan Major Amendment. Chriselle Travis, D.R. Horton applicant.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
I can.
Okay, great. So the packet was pretty large, but everything that changed was circled. And the major changes, well, the main purpose of their amendment is to change the layout of the northern part of their project. So this is what's in the existing plan, this layout here, and then this is what's proposed. So you can see the configuration of lot 3 has changed, and then the church site has been moved, and then the townhomes and single family have been shifted around. The lot 3 consists of regional commercial, approximately 3 acres, and also MR zoning, which approximately 9 acres of that is required to be marketed as commercial for 2 years. And so part of their reconfiguration, I believe, has to do with that marketing, and I'm sure Chriselle could probably address that if you'd like her to. And so with that change, there's a change in the park space. So they went from a linear park between lots to a square park on the corner, which this has better street frontage and access. So I view that as a improved change. And then they do have a fencing plan in there. The city would like to see the changes in yellow mage. So there will be a chain link fence around this sewer lift station, and then it says fence wall by city, but those will be chain link. One of them is already in place, and those are around our pump houses, I believe, or wells or something like that. And with staff does recommend approval, excuse me, with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Questions from the council? Or sorry, Chriselle, do you have anything to add first?
Nope, Sarah explained it. Those are the real purposes for the change. So,
Council?
Hey, Mayor, I'll
Yeah.
start. Hey, Chriselle, thanks for joining us. How's the marketing plans on the commercial space? Are you getting interest up there? I'm assuming, Sarah, the clock has started on the 2-year timetable.
so the timetable has not, but yes, we are still marketing. The development agreement reads that we have to record a plat to start that timetable. That plat has been approved, but it has not been recorded at this point in time yet. I just submitted that for Mylar proof last week. So staff is reviewing that. So that clock will start soon. We have been negotiating with buyers, and we do have an interest, but when COVID hit, it was not a great time, and it's still not great for office space. So everything's slowed down a bit, but there is still interest, and we are picking things back up. And like I said, that 2-year clock has not started, but should start soon. So.
Okay, and just for my clarity, this does not change the overall density of the project, Sarah, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have any other questions. I do like the change in the park. I think that'll be a better solution there. So I don't have anything else.
I just had a quick one, Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Porter.
And I think I know the answer to this, but I just guess looking for confirmation of that. Looking at I'm looking at 68 of 98 in the business item 1 from the packet, not the, I don't know what it is in the complete packet, but.
Do you know what page it is on the document? Which page of the neighborhood plan in the bottom right corner?
Oh, let me see here.
49.
49. It's the neighborhood plan. It's about the lot standards. And it's that page 49 and 50. There's some around the setbacks and stuff. There's some red arrows. Did we just add the arrows? The setbacks themselves have not changed as part of this, correct?
No, so there was nothing on this page changed. The
Okay.
arrows were red before the submittal.
Okay, and since it's a red line, they just attracted my attention. Okay, and
Mayor,
that's my only
sorry.
question.
Councilman Willen.
I had one just on page 19 of our packet. It looks like before page 1. It's one of the it's just a new footnote that I don't see that as a summary of a change. It says at the very bottom, lot 3 maximum residential units, if not developed as commercial. I don't necessarily have a problem with the footnote. I just noticed it wasn't there before. Does that footnote impact anything in the agreement or what we've talked about in the past?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure which page you're looking at because I'm not aware of adding any footnotes that weren't there before. I'm assuming you're looking at the neighborhood plan page. It's got blue highlights on it.
Looks like it, yeah.
So there weren't any footnotes or new notes added. The dashed lines around there, so anything that was changed is clouded. So it doesn't change any of the density that was, we'd have to figure, so we'd have, if it didn't go commercial, we would only be entitled to that same 195 units and we'd have to figure out how to fit them in this new configuration. There hasn't been a change to that.
Okay.
Density in this
Oh, okay. I finally see it. Sorry, it took me a while to get to it. But yeah, that's exactly right. So it's just saying that if they were to ever request a rezone in the future and ask for a residential zone, that would be their maximum number.
Okay, I mean, that's easy enough. It has the red line circle around it and indicating it's a new footnote, and just wondering if that was triggered because of a change somewhere else that we needed to add that footnote, but it doesn't sound like it. So I'm good.
Mayor, go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, yeah, I just had a quick question in regards to UDOT's expansion of Pioneer Crossing. Did that affect your layout at all as well, Chriselle?
No, UDOT has parcels in front of our parcel. So directly on the north of us, they own a parcel that will be used for that expansion.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else from the council?
I do, if I could real quick, Mayor.
You bet.
So I just have a question around the fencing around our property and the other that's chain link. Do we have to, is there still the landscaping requirements? Again, I'm not a huge fan of chain link. Obviously that pump's been there a long time and now we're developing around it. There are some requirements to make sure that that is those two, the chain link by the developer, which I was surprised that they could do chain link. I know that we have a utility, so we can do that, but what's the requirements around that?
Around all of those or around the?
Yeah, so the chain link, because I was sort of surprised to see chain link fencing.
Right. So the one site is already existing.
Yep, and that's our
Sorry.
pump.
Right. So that has an existing chain link fence.
Mhm.
And then this one, do you guys see my cursor too? Or do you
Yep,
see the
we
one
can
that-
see it going, yep.
So the one next to Future Pony Express, that one is existing as well, but does not currently have fencing. And so the city wanted to reserve the right to put up chain link fencing. And then this one that says chain link by developer, our code requires the upgraded fence if there's existing residential, and right now there's not existing residential.
But there's entitled existing residential. That surprises me because it's not zoned agriculture anymore.
Yeah.
But it currently is still agricultural and
We
technically
haven't changed the zone yet there.
that has not, well,
Just the stuff on Saratoga Road has changed.
right, because that parcel still sits in city ownership, so it's actually still a public facility.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with chain link. I don't even like that we do chain link. I think that if we hold our developers to a standard, we should be held to a standard. If anything, we should make sure that we're following our same landscaping around the chain link so that it's buffered, or working with the developer to make sure that it's buffered around there so it's not just this big ugly silver chain link box around our utilities like we would do in any other development with the pine trees and other trees and bushes. So this is a concern to me. I'm one of five, but we have fought chain links so much in our city, and then here we are, boom, 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 3 chain links and one of the largest developments in the city in the next 5 years.
So if it makes you feel better, it's vinyl coated black chain link. It's not silver.
That's good.
And that does sit back from, it doesn't sit right on the street, Michael. There is a 10-foot park strip in front of it that will be landscaped with street trees and.
Your developer one, yeah. Okay, that's good. That will be landscaped. What are the plans for the 2 city ones? Adding a chain link fence and then the other one, are we planning on landscaping around those or making sure that they're not super big eyesores?
So on the one that has well number 2, the one along Pony Express Parkway that doesn't have current fencing, because of the grade, the elevation, it will be surrounded on our side by retaining walls, and then we'll have a second fence at the top of those retaining walls on the north and the west sides.
And is that a chain link fence as well?
No, that's a white vinyl.
Your vinyl, consistent vinyl fencing?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the other 2 sides, it's going to be facing you guys like similar to what we did with Grandview. We did a great job putting the pine trees and hiding those utilities. There's a few further north on Redwood Road that don't have any bushes and stuff. I think that we need to look at that still. It's a side note. But right along Pony Express, I think we need to be looking at what our plans are from a city perspective to make sure, 1, it's hidden so it's not an attractive nuisance, and 2, it's just better driving by. Looks better for our city.
Councilman McComber, just the history on that chain link, I don't know, probably 2.5 years ago, we brought it back to the city council to change the fencing requirement. It was determined if it was a utility site, I want to say the language is existing residential development. I want to say it was 200 feet too. I'd have to look on the code, but it was specified and approved that if it was a certain distance away from existing, it could start out as it could be chain link. If it was within a certain distance, then it could not. And so that's where this has come from. And so anybody that does utility would be able to do that.
You're cutting out a little bit, David, but I'm okay with the chain link, but I'm not okay with is not shielding it or putting some landscaping and just having it be a chain link right on the edge of Pony Express, like abutting the sidewalk or whatever would be along Pony Express. And how wide is the cross section of Pony Express? Because I think we might be within 200, I don't know, of those houses on the south side of Pony Express.
Pony Express is 180 foot right of way.
So we might be within the 200 there. So we might not be able to do chain link even if we wanted to. So if we can look into that and just make sure that we're following code. And then also, again, I'm one of 5 in terms of the landscaping. If you need approval from us, bring it to us and we'll see how the vote lays out. But double check to make sure that we can do chain link with those houses that have already been zoned on the other side of Pony Express.
I think that was the purpose here, is that we wanted to reserve the right to do chain link. If that's not what the council prefers, we would like direction on that.
Well, it doesn't matter about we reserve the right. We can't break our code. If it's within 200 feet, it's within 200 feet of existing homes. Those are homes that are approved. It's planned, it's approved, it's being built, it's being developed. So, I mean, again, if we have to do a vote, I just think that we just need to follow our code.
I'm with Councilman McComber on the fencing. If it's the black rubber coated vinyl chain link with the right landscaping, I think it can look good. I think
Yeah, I
the only
agree.
advantage along Pony Express, and Michael, you and I have talked about it in the past, sometimes as the snow plows through ice, it punches holes in the vinyl.
Yeah. So the chain link, I have no problem with nice chain link as long as it's landscape, Mayor, like you're saying too.
Yeah, so I'd be okay, but I would like to know, like Michael's asking, is this an exception? Because we need to follow policy that we have in place. If it's the right product and we need to do something, then I think as a council, we just need to make that decision.
So David actually did, he seemed a little uncertain, but that is the code requirement, that that chain link is allowed for public utility facilities. If it's less than 200 feet from an if it's more than 200 feet from an existing residential dwelling in a residential zone. So staff was like, there's a little bit of ambiguity there because there aren't any existing residences in this area. And so staff took the interpretation that anyone buying into the product would know that there's chain link there already and would be buying into it. But since there's no existing residential facilities, we would meet that part of the code.
Okay, then fine with the chain link, the rubber coat or whatever, just making sure that we have a good landscaping plan and the fence isn't sitting right on the sidewalk. Let's make a little bit of an effort and keep this neighborhood. They're doing a lot of effort to make sure it's a nice neighborhood. Let's do our part too. So that's just me. Again, the rest of the council has to step into. Thank you.
Any other comments from the council?
You're muted, Ryan.
Yes, I just have one real quick.
Okay.
So in the definition of existing residential, is that then outlined in our code that it is someone that has purchased the property and is moving in, or is it when the residential is actually being built?
Well, I'll go ahead and just read it. It says vinyl coated chain link is allowed for facilities more than 200 feet from an existing residential dwelling that is in a residential zone.
Do you know what our definition is of residential, existing residential?
Yeah, so it says a dwelling, so it'd have to be like an existing house. Now,
isn't that the case in this scenario?
I'm not sure if there's any existing.
They haven't built those houses along Pony Express yet. They're closer to Saratoga Road, Ryan. They're probably a year out.
We have built those houses. They are built.
Oh, these ones along Pony Express are?
Everything in our first phase is under construction. Yes.
See, so
On the south side of Pony.
Yeah,
on the south side of Pony, yes.
Yeah, but that's within
south side of
200.
Pony is under construction.
Is that within 200 feet? Is that what's the width on Pony?
So the
The
Pony
cross-section is
Express
180.
cross section is 180 feet. That includes a 30-foot landscape easement and trail on both sides. And then as you can see from this fencing display down here on Sarah's screen that's showing with the dog walking thing, that 3-foot vinyl is the property line. So that would be the back edge. And then we have the varies 15 feet. And then the back side of the fence for those units starts right there. That's that 6-foot privacy fence that's been labeled. So those units are I would say they're within 200 feet or close to it. You might, I mean, if it's the building, because we got another 10 feet past that fence. So we're We're close on the 200 feet. It would be sketchy because some
So I-
spots I'm 4 feet
I have-
from there and other places I'm 15 feet. And then it's 10 feet to the building south of that fence line.
I
So
have the,
Michael, are you looking for a motion then on just having a thorough landscaping review with approval of this plan?
Well, I just think, I mean, not necessarily, but if we want to make it one of the conditions for the city to make sure that we are, you know, complying within our code. And if we end up doing the chain link or any kind of fence, I still think there should be some nice landscaping to buffer between Pony Express and the facility. But I don't know if we need to put that into the motion because it doesn't really impact DR Horton. It's really impacting the city.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that needs to be in the motion to follow our own
I
code.
think we just direct staff. If we have 3 council members who agree, then we just direct staff to make sure that they do it, that we're within compliance.
Well, and we can take the type off of this document so that it just says fence by city, and then we can discuss the fence before it goes in.
The revised sheet that I sent there, it does say
And
fence.
I don't think the fence type is as much a concern as making sure we landscape it properly.
Yep, I agree.
Mayor, council, I made a note that we'll look back as a city at the landscaping and take your direction on that. So.
And
Okay,
Mayor and council, I need to point out as well that now I'm not sure if this is the well side or if it's the pump station. If it's the well side, the development agreement actually would require DR Horton to upgrade from chain link to the wrought iron. If it's the sewer pump station, the developer would be on the hook for the entire cost of the fence because it's a subdivision requirement, subject to reimbursement for any system improvements. So let's just make sure in motion that we're not putting the obligation unnecessarily on the city and that it's just follow the development agreement as far as who's has the obligation for that.
So I think that make sure one of the conditions is that we follow the development agreement for all fencing standards.
And I believe the development agreement reads that the developer has the option to upgrade the fencing at their choice, but is not required. I don't have the development agreement in front of me, but my understanding was that is the well site number 2. It's not the pump. It's well site number 2. And my understanding of the development agreement is that the developer has the choice to upgrade it if they choose.
Well, that's great. I'll just put it as the development agreement when we do the motion. And then if it says that way, Chriselle, then you're good. And if it says the other way, then we'll just make sure it happens.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion.
Sorry. If you can pull up that page on the PowerPoint so I can get the verbiage too. I just don't have my packet pulled up. I move that the City Council approve the North Shore Neighborhood Plan Major Amendment, subject to the following, with all staff findings and conditions, including an additional condition that all fencing standards meet the development agreement.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a first from Councilman McComber, a second from Councilman Carn. Any further discussion? Councilman Carn,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
McComber,
Aye.
Podeska,
Aye.
Wilden.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Chriselle.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the minutes. I'll entertain a motion for the September 1st, 2020 approval of the minutes.
So made.
Motion to approve minutes.
I have a
I
first
beat
from
you, Chris.
I have a first from Councilman McComber, second from Councilman Carn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mark, do we have need a closed session?
Do not, Mayor and Council.
Okay. Perfect. Then I will adjourn the meeting.
Okay.